stay with me, because what I'm about to walk you through does not sound real. It sounds like something lifted straight out of a Hollywood military thriller, except it happened last night, and the consequences are staggering. It's 3:12 a.m. in eastern Ukraine. The temperature is sitting at -1°F. The kind of brutal cold where your breath freezes before you exhale, darkness, ice, wind, and in the middle of that mountain pass one that most people couldn't point to on a map, or 3-mile Russian convoys crawling forward through a blizzard, 80 vehicles, tanks, armored personnel carriers, ammunition trucks, more than 160,000 anti-tank mines on board. Total value, $210 million. This is in cargo. This is a battlefield-altering delivery, and the men inside these vehicles have no idea they're driving into her, trapped for months in the making, because what unfolds over the next 50 minutes will erase this entire column from existence. But the fascinating part, the fatal mistake wasn't the ambush. It was the decision to enter a place Ukraine had quietly transformed into a weather trap and environmental weapon. Let's rewind. For weeks, political delays in Washington stalled major aid to Ukraine. Russian commanders watched those delays and grew confident, then overconfident, and eventually careless. This unit 40 to be TR carriers, 18 tanks, 19 ammunition haulers treated this narrow, icy mountain corridor like a shortcut, a routine drive. They ran the same route 10 out of the last 11 nights, at nearly the exact same time, because Moscow had stamped the pass as secure. But Ukraine knew the pattern down to the minute. Their modified Orlan drones upgraded with ultra-cold endurance batteries flew nightly, tracking the convoy's rhythm in temperatures as low as -22°F. But they weren't just observing. They were analyzing. Machine learning models predicted wind shear, snowpack drift, thermal currents, everything nature was doing. They weren't just preparing an ambush. They were preparing the environment. Why? Because the stakes were enormous. Those mine shipments worth $10 million per week could shift the tactical balance in a region where Russia has taken 18,000 casualties since May. So Ukraine asked one question: can weather become a weapon? At 3:12 a.m., the answer arrived. The lead Russian tank crosses an invisible trigger point, just a patch of road. Nothing to see, nothing unusual. Phase 1 begins. 20 Ukrainian drones lift silently from ice cavities carved into the canyon walls. They're unarmed, no bombs, no missiles. Instead, each drone carries a compact heat generator set to 125°F in the middle of a blizzard. These drones start injecting warm air upward. Wind pulls the heat into swirling thermal plumes, and on Russian radar, 14 miles away, something impossible happens. A phantom convoy appears, a ghost formation, a massive thermal signature surging north through the storm. Meanwhile, the real convoy keeps moving blindly forward, unaware that its mirror image, its illusion, is being painted in the sky above it. Russian radar operators panic. They transmit an urgent alert. Artillery batteries reposition. Commanders start preparing for a Ukrainian armored push that doesn't exist. The trap has snapped shut. Visibility drops to 25 feet. Wind gusts hit 38 miles per hour. Ice cracks off the canyon walls. And as the convoy pushes through the narrowest choke point, the road shifts beneath them. Hidden pressure sensors planted weeks ago register the weight. Phase 2. 8 larger Ukrainian drones rise from beneath snow-covered rocks. Their payloads, broadband electronic warfare modules. They flood the canyon with interference. Russian radios die instantly. Drivers can't reach commanders. Tanks can't reach each other. The entire column becomes blind, deaf, and isolated. Meanwhile, directional speakers hidden in the rocks blast distorted engine noises. To Russian ears, it sounds like Ukrainian armor is maneuvering on both sides of the canyon, even though there isn't a single Ukrainian vehicle nearby. Fear spreads. Formation discipline breaks. Then Ukraine adds the final psychological push. A scout drone drops 3 thermal beacons in front of the convoy, each one calibrated to mimic a tank engine at 145°F to Russian thermal optics. It looks like they're about to drive into a Ukrainian spearhead. The convoy grinds to a halt, completely frozen in place. And now, The killing zone is perfect. At 3:28 a.m. Sensors confirm the entire convoy of vehicles is packed into the narrowest stretch. Tanks bunched together, trucks bumper to bumper. Some crews have stepped out into the blizzard, trying to understand what lies ahead. From a tactical perspective, the convoy has become one continuous, immobile metal target. Phase 3. Beneath 5 feet of snow, 15 Ukrainian demolition charges detonate upward. These aren't mines, they're ice fracture explosives designed to weaponize the terrain. Massive slabs of pre-weakened ice rip free from the canyon walls, 6 to 12 tons each. They crash down like man-made avalanches. The Russians mistake the impacts for artillery. Panic erupts. Vehicles lurch forward, reverse, skid, collide. One tank wedges sideways. Within 30 seconds, the pass is blocked at both ends. Then a second set of charges triggers a snow collapse, sealing the rear of the column behind a 14-foot wall of frozen debris. The canyon has become a sealed chamber, radios jammed, visibility collapsing, temperature lethal, morale evaporating. And now comes the hammer. Phase 4. From above the clouds, 12 Ukrainian strike drones descend through the blizzard. This wave carries 38-pound shaped charges, engineered to punch through armor that has been weakened by sub-zero temperatures. At 3:36 a.m. the first drone hits. A tank in the center erupts, armor-pierced, ammo igniting. The explosion echoes like a cannon inside a cathedral. Shrapnel slices into ammunition trucks behind it. Secondary blasts follow. Within 40 seconds, 3 drones hit the front. 2 hit the rear. Escape is impossible. Fire and snow churn together. Cold snaps fuel lines. Hydraulics freeze and burst. Engines choke. A final drone scatters thermal pellets burning at 2,500 F, preventing crews from approaching damaged vehicles. For minutes later, the convoy's combat capability has dropped 70%. But Ukraine still isn't done. Phase 5. Control ignition. Weeks earlier, Ukrainian sappers hid for 3,000 F plasma lances inside the canyon walls. At 3:43 a.m., the first lance fires, melting straight into a carrier packed with mine crates. Armor glows red, metal warps, fuses rupture. The mines die without detonating. By 3:46 a.m., the convoy is disintegrating. Fuel cells cook off, ammo boxes burst. Crews attempt escape, but are driven back by ice falls and burning shrapnel. By 3:52 a.m., the canyon is no longer a battlefield. It is a tomb. Phase 6. Eradication. To drones descend, carrying 52-pound thermobaric charges. They hover at opposite ends of the corridor. At 3:55 a.m. detonation. The canyon amplifies the blasts like a sealed chamber. Pressure waves flatten everything. Snow vaporizers. Flames stretch sideways. Survivors are thrown like ragdolls. When the echoes fade, the canyon goes silent. Nothing remains recoverable. No vehicle, no mine, no electronics. Nothing. At 4:02 a.m., Ukraine extracts. Jammers shut down. Sensors wipe themselves. Wind buries the tracks. At sunrise, Russian drones finally reach the site. What they see is described by analysts as a mechanical extinction event of 80 vehicles. Fewer than 5 have recognizable shapes. Every mine crate is ruined. A 4-month Russian reinforcement plan is now delayed by up to 15 days. The entire operation executed in under 50 minutes. Ukraine turned a storm into a weapon, a canyon into a trap, and a convoy into a warning. That's our reporting tonight. If this story kept you on the edge of your seat, leave a comment and subscribe for deeper coverage. Good night.